What is up, my brothers and sisters? It's your boy Juice. Did y'all see that attack on Putin's life? That apparently, well, they don't know who did the attack, but yeah. If I was Putin, I'd be sitting in like my castle or whatever it is, and I'd be like, these stupid people. They attempt assassination and send bottle rockets. Right? I mean, what was that? A firework? Like, I don't understand. Like, what happened? Like, that didn't even do anything. It kind of reminds me of that scene from Jaws when, like, they were, like, so confident, right? And you got the guy who's, like, the professional shark hunter. And he's like, get your rubbers, right? And they're, like, in the middle of sea, right? And he's chunking out the chum, right? And, so he's chunking out the chum, right? And then that's when the shark comes out and he's like, holy shit, man. He's like, we're going to need a bigger boat. Well, it's kind of like what it reminded me of, right? They're like, we're going to need a bigger bomb, right? It's like it didn't do anything. What do you mean? Yeah, it barely stirred him out of his bed. I mean, I don't even know if it put a hole in the roof. I mean, what happened? And then, especially if you're going against a country that supposedly has like these supersonic missiles. It kind of reminds me of this scene right here, right? Because they're like so super fast, it creates like this bubble of air, and I don't know, it goes like back in time or something, and like blink and you'll miss it, right? I mean, it's that fast, and it like is so badass and so impenetrable that like it killed all these generals in the I don't know, like a what was it, like a 40-foot underground bunker or something, or I don't know what it was, something like that. 40 miles, I don't know. The rumors that go around. So I'm assuming that like when they shoot off the rocket and when it hits you, it's kind of like reminds me of this scene right here, right? Like, it's like like there goes the rocket, right? It's like holy shit. It's like what happened? It's like oh man, it's that fast. I mean, super fast. I mean, blink and you'll miss it, right? Like, I mean, holy cow. And then I'm like, I was like watching footage of, like the war, right? And it's like the Ukrainians are using the T-72s and T-90s, I guess. So like, and then like people were like, we found one in Louisiana, and I was like, huh, that's weird. I was like, because I'm like looking for footage of the war, and there's like one tank battle, and there's maybe like one or two tank battles, because I was kind of excited. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these are supposed to be like highly sophisticated, advanced countries right here, right? And it's like, but yet they say they're fighting with shovels and they have no weapons. And then at that, I'm like, dude, for like supposedly us being afraid of like Russia, it's like they can't even take Ukraine. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why should we be afraid of these guys? Why should we be afraid of China? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, they're using fishing boats. Like, what? What are you talking about? What war? It sounds like nobody even has the funds for the war or the weapons or ammo. It's like they're fighting with shovels. What are you talking about? Like what war? Like I don't know what footage they're stock footage they're showing us, but like I wanted to see like some Terminator tanks, right? Like I mean, I'm seeing more of this in our own country, and then it's like how'd they even get that? Like how'd they even get that? At that, like without damage, right? Like not damaged at all whatsoever. I mean, look at it. There's like no bullet holes, no. I mean, it looks like it's in crisp condition. So I figured maybe like I don't know, maybe they were like, I mean, look at it. It's like in crisp condition, brand new. So I figured, maybe like I don't know, some Russians like pulled over on the side and they were like, let's get drunk off vodka, right? And yes, some Ukrainians were like, hey guys, this is super easy. All you gotta do is wait for him to get drunk. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, look, they're all passed out. And he's like, let's just tank their tanks, right? We didn't even have to like shoot it dead. Yeah, all these guys are passed out. I mean, how easy is that? Oh yeah, Russians like hip hop too, I suppose. Ha! There you go. All you gotta wait for him to pass out. But yeah, these Terminator tanks right here. I mean, this thing is super badass. I mean, I guess this one was in combat in Ukraine because it's got the Z on it. So, I mean, but I've yet to see one. So, I was kind of excited about it. It's like we see more of this in our own country. So it reminded me of the scene from the Lost Boys. Just because you spend millions of dollars on a nice tank like the Terminator tank doesn't mean that you're going to use it or like, show it off and like use it. So it kind of reminded me of this scene from the Lost Boys. It's like that would be the Terminator tank, right? And just because you got it doesn't mean like you want to go drive it into battle, right? And it's like, well, Grandpa here, Grandpa here wants to go to town, but that doesn't mean he's gonna drive his classic '50s car into town, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, boy, pimping. Yay! He's like, come on, Grandpa, let's go pimping. And then Grandpa's like, you know what? Right? And he's like, well, that's as close as battle as I like to take my Terminator tank because it's like $5 million worth of metal, right? And I was like, look at these dudes right here. Look at these dudes. British volunteer fighter retrains running out of way. So what are you fighting with? Sticks, stones, I don't know, water balloons. Ukrainian soldiers in fight right with decades old. There's the Terminator right there. It's like, what do you mean? That thing's in. And this guy right here is like basically like, we are fighting with equipment of the 70s and 80s. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're beating the sophisticated, advanced country Russia, whom we are scared of. I mean, they got hackers, supersonic missiles, up-to-date machine guns, Terminator tanks, and yet these guys don't even have like an air force. They barely have like a tank unit. I mean, we had to send them tanks. You're telling me that Russia, these sophisticated, advanced people, cannot win against a country the size of New York and America being the rest of like, Russia? I don't understand.